It is time to wire up the buttons. This will allow us to start the audio playback and change the state of the buttons. Remember that when reaching from code to UI element, we'll use IBOutlets, and from UI element to call our code, we'll use an IBAction. We're going to start with IBOutlets. Instead of dragging each button and using the assistant editor, an easier way is to write out the IBOutlets in code and then just connect them via Interface Builder. Open the PlaySoundsViewController.swift file and add the following lines here inside the class. These are the IBOutlets for the 6 playback buttons and the stop button. Now we just need to connect these IBOutlets. Open the main.storyboard file and select the PlaySoundsViewController scene. Make sure the document outline is open and that you can see all the buttons. With the Control key held down, drag from the PlaySoundsViewController down to the snail button and select the snail button as the outlet. This has connected the IBOutlet named snail button to the actual snail UI button. Let's do the same for the other buttons. With the Control key held down, connect the rabbit button, the chipmunk button, the Darth Vader button, the echo button, the reverb button, and the stop button. Now our view controller code can reach out to all of the UI button using these IBOutlets. The next step is to connect the buttons to an IBAction, so that when you press a button, the code inside our PlaySounds view controller will run. From what you've learned so far, you might be thinking we need to create 7 IBAction functions, 1 for each button. There's a better way, with less duplication of code, and I'm going to show you that here. We're going to create 2 IBAction functions, 1 to handle all 6 playback buttons and 1 to handle the stop button. Open the PlaySoundsViewController.swift file. Underneath the IBOutlets you've just created, add these 2 functions. We have an IBAction function to play the sound, and we have an IBAction function to stop playing sound. Now we just need to connect the 6 playback buttons to the Play Sound for Button IBAction. We also need to connect the stop button to the Stop Button Pressed IBAction. Let's go back to the main.storyboard file and select the PlaySoundsViewController scene. For this step, it helps to have all the buttons visible in the document outline. You may need to open the disclosure triangles, as I've done here. With the Control key held down, select the snail button and drag into the PlaySoundsViewController. Select the Play Sound for Button function from the pop-up. Let's do the same for the rabbit button. With the Control key held down, drag to the PlaySoundsViewController and select Play Sound for Button. Follow these steps for the chipmunk button, the Darth Vader button, echo button, and reverb button. All 6 play buttons are calling the same IBAction function. For the stop button, we need to connect it to the Stop Button Pressed IBAction. Let's run and see if everything is wired up correctly. Press the Run button here to start Pitch Perfect on the iOS simulator. Let's just quickly record and stop so that we can transition to the PlaySoundsViewController. If we press on the snail playback button, we can see the Play Sound for Button function is getting called here in the console. Let's try it for the other 5 buttons. Lastly, let's check that the stop button is wired up by pressing on it as well. That was a bit of work, but now we can reach into all of the buttons from our view controller using IBOutlets and have the button call our code using the IBActions. Now that our user interface is set up, we can start writing our audio playback code.